Right before the legislature party meeting began at the Capital Hotel, Basavaraj Bommai met with BJP central observers. Ahead of this meeting, Bommai met with the BJP Karnataka in charge Arun Singh, Union Ministers Dharmendra Pradhan and G. Kishan Reddy. I want to go across Nagarjun Dwarkanath, who's joining us from the Capital Hotel. We also have Nabila Jamal. Nagarjun, how long is this meeting expected to go on for? Will there be an acrimonious back and forth on who should be the next Karnataka Chief Minister? Or is the decision largely taken and now we're just going through the motions, as it were?
I feel it's largely taken is what I feel I'm picking up from the sources, Rahul. It might be a protocol process for at least 20-30 minutes, and they decide as to what the plan of action is, how the party should grow and how the MLA should all rally behind the name that they are going to propose. They will float one or two names is what we are told, but it will be done with the help of Mr. Yediyurappa. He, Dharmendra Pradhan, Mr. Kishan Reddy and also the Chief Whip are the ones on the stage, and the remaining MLAs are sitting below the dais, and then the name would be floated and it would say this is the choice of the High Command. If anyone has an objection or anything that sort, they can put it out. But it's unlikely that anyone from the 120 MLAs would speak against the choice of the High Command. But most likely it will be Yediyurappa who will be proposing the name, and a two-line resolution will be passed is what we are hearing. The process might take 15 to 30 minutes and we'll have a clear-cut picture in the next 30 minutes is what we are hearing.
The next 30 minutes is what you think is when we'll know what the next Chief Minister will be. Now the question is, Syed Aslam from the Janata Dal Secular, if the BJP is able to take a smooth decision and power is passed on from Yediyurappa to the next person who will be Chief Minister, then the opposition's hope that there would be bickering in public or this will drag itself out and the BJP will combust internally, that won't come through, and the BJP will in fact have about 2 years to write on a fresh slate and leave the anti-incumbency behind them.
Well, Rahul, let me tell you, we have Yediyurappa ji is a tall leader. We have huge respect for him. And definitely BJP has a legacy of insulting the veteran leaders. We have seen it with Advani ji, we have seen with Murli Manohar ji, and today we are seeing it with Yediyurappa ji. Now, talking about Karnataka, since the day the BJP has formed the government in an illegitimate way, I'm stressing the point illegitimate, because we have seen how the government was formed. We have seen the BJP at the epitome of house trading, and after that you have seen the defection. All these things were at the epitome in Karnataka. Karnataka is a very peaceful state which is known for good governance. But BJP, what we have seen from BJP is horse trading, and we have seen the defection. Right, since the first day of illegitimate government which has come in, the BJP government is not giving administration. The entire state is devastated with COVID mismanagement, and absolutely administration is zero. And we see that there is infight. There are multiple factions which are there in BJP. There is no focus on governance, and there was absolutely no focus on COVID management. We have thousands of people dying out of COVID, absolute mismanagement. But the BJP is focused only on keeping their flock together, and there is no focus on people.
Sudhir, how big a challenge would it be for the new Chief Minister to operate given the shadow of the giant shadow of Yediyurappa that will be lurking above him? Because if Yediyurappa stays in the state of Karnataka, because he said publicly he doesn't want to be governor elsewhere, then he will be active in local politics. So you've got the former Chief Minister, would he act as a super CM? How will the BJP work around that?
Well, the Karnataka BJP would definitely not want a J.H. Patel kind of a situation that happened in Karnataka in the 90s. That is something which the BJP would definitely not want. They would not want Yediyurappa to behave like a super CM with the remote control in his hand, which is why the remote control will be in New Delhi's hands. The person who is going to be the next Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Ministers will be all the choice of the High Command, and they would expect both Yediyurappa as well as the MLAs to fall in line. And that's essentially the purpose of this legislature party meeting, to tell them that this is the choice of Delhi, and they would want to ensure that there is no trouble breaking out here. The next Chief Minister, both from the caste point of view, is important, and also more importantly, someone who would be a good political manager to ensure that the next 2 years, during which the BJP is trying to press the reset button on both the caste dynamics, also preparing itself for the 2023 and 24 elections, is able to do so smoothly. So for that, the new chief minister, whether it's a young person or someone who is reasonably senior and has served as a minister, whoever it is, will have to essentially ensure that there is no bickering taking place, the kind of bickering that we saw during the 2 years of Yediyurappa rule from 2019 to 21.
Sandeep Shastri, forget the decision that the central leaders and the legislators finally take. Given the fact that you are situated in Bengaluru, who do you think in the current BJP is actually best suited to be the ideal choice as Yediyurappa's replacement?
Rahul, there is a huge difference between the ideal and the practical. I would go with what Dwarkanath just now said, and I have said this earlier on your own program. Whoever is going to emerge as the chief minister will have the unquestioned support and confidence of the central leadership. He or she would be somebody the central leadership would have handpicked, with, of course, as I said, the approval of Mr. Yediyurappa. And that leader would be somebody who, if you are looking at a course correction, would be able to do it in a way that the central leadership would want it to happen to gear up the party for the next assembly and the next Lok Sabha elections. So I'm very clear about it that whoever emerges as the leader would be somebody who the central leadership is very confident about.
Sure, but it cannot also be, while you say that, Sandeep Shastri, and you are right, but it cannot be somebody who Yediyurappa doesn't like. If Yediyurappa uses his veto power, or if he decides to rebel and create trouble, despite the fact that he is now getting on in years, he still has the potential of wrecking the BJP's fortunes.
Rahul, that's why the negotiation has taken so long. Otherwise, like Chhattisgarh, otherwise like Uttarakhand, this decision could have been taken in 24 hours. It has been going on for several days because the whole process of negotiation, making sure Mr. Yediyurappa does not take actions which lead to any collateral damage. All that is the reason why the whole process has taken so long and is being done so slowly. Please mark my word. I did say that it would be somebody who would have Yediyurappa's consent, but he or she would be basically the choice of the central leadership, is the point I'm trying to make.
And where does this Aishwarya Mahadev leave the Congress? Does this in some senses hurt the Congress? Because the longer Yediyurappa stayed, the more anti-incumbency was growing, the more his government seemed dysfunctional. Now the BJP gets an opportunity to try Kamal 2.0, not Operation Kamal, just Kamal 2.0 in this new with this new chief minister. You're on mute.
Rahul, can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Yeah. Sorry, just 10 seconds of your time to talk about poetic justice and irony that for the two supremos in Delhi, you see a regional satrap who's given them, put them in a tight spot. And second, for a party that talks about how the Congress is full of dynasts, all of your CM probables seem to be dynasts as well, and dynasts and how. But the fact of the matter is this has absolutely no disadvantage to the Congress at all. For the fact of the matter is, I think the suffering of the people in this state, and I think what they've gone through during the pandemic and the economic crisis and the floods, transcend caste, creed, race boundaries, to be absolutely honest. The Congress is very clear. You knew your chief minister was going to leave. You knew you had to replace him for whatever reason it was. The timing of it is absolutely unfortunate because you're obviously putting the state in a flux. But more so ever, let me tell you this. If you believe that Mr. Yediyurappa is going to sit silent with the choice of a Lingayat CM or whoever it is, you realize you're absolutely wrong. For the fact that if you give it to a Bommai, you see that Mr. Yediyurappa is going to be super CM the way his son was when Mr. Yediyurappa was CM. You give it to Mr. Bellard, who comes from a larger Panchamsali sect as opposed to a Sadar Lingayat, which is Bommai, or a Ganiga Lingayat, which is what Yediyurappa is. You see the Panchamshalis may be silent, but because they have 17% of the vote bank as they claim to, the number of Lingayat leaders within are not going to allow anybody to function. Mr. Yediyurappa seemed to be the necessary glass ceiling, if I may say so, albeit the most corrupt one of the lot. But going forward, this is not smooth sailing. This is not a clean slate. This, I think, is going to be anarchy and nihilistic behavior within. And you're going to see them probably spontaneously combust. Whether they do or not, anti-incumbency is so high against them, the Congress still stands to gain because we've been working irrespective.
Vivek,
of
right,
the
do you
fact
agree with
all
that?
their politics
That there is
just
already
power.
a huge level of anti-incumbency, and even if you change your chief
Right.
minister, it doesn't take
Rahul.
the anti-incumbency away. Vivek.
Yes, Rahul, I was really surprised by what Aishwarya Mahadev is saying. It looks like a doomsday soothsayer trying to predict all that is negative and dark about the BJP. Well, that is what the opposition is there for. And Mr. Dwarkanath also trying to portray and say it is an illegitimate government. I think we have moved far away from that. It is BJP that will establish its ascendancy with a very efficient leader, which the opposition does not want. And that is why this amount of ranting and bickering by the opposition. Well,
Okay.
we will see in the days to come a very good leadership emerging for Karnataka. This is just as the younger leadership that is taking hold of various other states. I think this is the way Modi works and the present BJP works. And unfortunately, nobody in the opposition can stand this.
Okay,
Well,
so we're
if
going
you
to
cannot
slip into a quick break. I'll have more for you on the news track in a short while from now. This important legislature